Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the MCQs from Class 7 Science Chapter 11, Light, Shadows and Reflection. The MCQs are exam focused, concept based to boost your knowledge. Do attempt the MCQs and do not forget to comment down your score. Let's start. Which of the following is a luminous object? The answer is sun. We know luminous objects are objects which emit their own light. Objects that emit their own light are called luminous objects. Which of the following is non-luminous object? The answer is moon. It does not have its own light. It reflects the light of sun. Why does the moon appear bright? Because it reflects sunlight. Which of these is a natural source of light? Sun. Next question. Which of the following can emit its own light naturally? The answer is lightning. Light generally travels in a straight line. This is what we call as rectilinear propagation of light. In the matchbox activity, a bright spot is obtained when we have kept many matchboxes with holes in between and we have a candle at one side. So why do we see a bright spot? Because all the holes are in a straight line. What happens when one matchbox is moved sideways in the light experiment? The light spot disappears because we know light travel in a straight line, so we no longer see the candle. A candle flame can be seen through a straight pipe. Which material allows light to pass almost completely? So the answer is transparent. Which material allows only some light to pass through? The answer is translucent. Which material does not allow light to pass through? Opaque. Which of the following is transparent? Clear glass. Which type of material generally produces a darker shadow? We know it is opaque because they completely block the light. What is a shadow? A dark region where light does not reach. Which combination is necessary to observe a shadow? What are the requirements for shadow? Source of light, opaque object, and a screen. If the light source is switched off, the shadow cannot be observed because if there is no light, nothing can be blocked. Which of the following can act as a screen for a shadow? Wall, ground, floor. The answer is all of these. All of them can act as a screen. What determines the shape and size of a shadow? Position of the object relative to the light source and screen. We know that when we change the position of object with respect to the light source or the screen, the size of shadow changes. If an opaque object is moved closer to the light source, its shadow generally becomes larger. We know if it comes closer to the light source, it will become larger. If an opaque object is moved closer to the screen, while the light and screen positions are fixed, its shadow generally becomes smaller because it is moving towards the screen and away from the light source. Changing the color of an opaque object changes there is no change in the color of the shadow. We know the shadow is always black in color. Translucent objects generally produce lighter shadows. Why? Because they allow some light to pass through them. Can a transparent object sometimes produce a shadow? Yes, it can produce a faint shadow because it blocks some light and allows some light to pass through it. What happens when light falls on a plane mirror? So when light falls on a plane mirror, it changes its direction and this is called reflection. The change in direction of light by a mirror is called reflection. Which surface is most suitable for observing regular reflection? So if I have to see regular reflection, the surface has to be perfectly smooth. So the answer would be polished mirror. A plane mirror is a mirror that is flat. We know the mirror is flat. The image formed by a plane mirror is the same size as the object. The image formed by a plane mirror is erect. We know it is virtual and erect. The image formed by a plane mirror can be obtained on a screen. False. We know the image is virtual, which cannot be obtained on the screen. If you move closer to a plane mirror, your image appears closer to the mirror. We know the image has the same distance from the mirror as object has from the mirror. If the object is coming closer to the mirror, the image will also come closer to the mirror. If an object is moved farther from a plane mirror, the image will also move farther from the mirror. The left-right reversal seen in a plane mirror is called lateral inversion. Which of the following is not a characteristic of an image formed by a plane mirror? It is same size, yes. It is erect, it is laterally inverted, but it cannot be obtained on the screen. A pinhole camera forms an image on, we know it has a sheet, so, which act as a screen. The image formed by a pinhole camera is real and inverted. Which principle is mainly responsible for image formation in a pinhole camera? Light travels in a straight line. Which device uses two plane mirrors to see objects that are not directly visible? That is periscope. A simple periscope has its two plane mirrors arranged in a Z-shaped arrangement. Periscopes are used in submarines, tanks, and bunkers. All of these to see the objects which are not in direct line of sight. A kaleidoscope mainly uses three plane mirrors placed at 60° with each other. Why does a kaleidoscope produce beautiful patterns? Due to multiple reflections. Which statement correctly compares a plane mirror image and a pinhole camera image? We know that a mirror forms laterally inverted image while pinhole image is real and inverted. If two torches are placed on the same side of an opaque object, what can happen? We may obtain two shadows and they may overlap depending on the distance between them. Why might the shadow of a bird flying high in the sky not be easily visible on the ground? Because the shadow becomes very spread out and faint since it is very close to the light source, that is sun. Which statement is correct about the shadow of an object? It always has exactly the same shape and size of the object. Its shape and size can change with the position of object. Yes, this is correct. Which of the following statements about a plane mirror is correct? It forms an upside down image? No. It forms an erect image. It forms an image smaller than the object? No. It forms an erect and laterally inverted image. Why does a pinhole camera form an inverted image? Because light travel in straight lines but they cross at the pinhole. So we get inverted image. This is all from my side. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do like and share the video and subscribe the channel. Stay tuned to the Curious Lab where you ask, explore and discover. Thank you.